Hey everyone, Harmony back with another queer history moment. This one involves newspapers or press, I guess, and there's trigger warnings for outdated language, the Second World War, concentration camps, and Nazis. We don't go into any graphic detail, we just say the name or say those couple of words. And I'll try to get better at giving consistent image descriptions because I know some videos I do really good ones and some of them I don't, but ADHD and disability and all of that kind of fun stuff. So there's a couple of newspaper article titles on the slide there. The first one reads, Degenerates Parade. Inspector says blames lack of public disgust for growth of homosexuality. Homosexuality a problem, not an excuse. And lesbian vermin plagues Toronto. Oof. So those are some examples of some newspaper headings that you would typically find in the 50s and 60s. Just spreading misconceptions and lies about homosexuality. The moments I want to discuss are involving Pink Triangle Press. It's been a part of Canadian queer history for quite a while now, and it's still in some form operational or like in existence today. So in 1971, Pink Triangle Press was founded. It is Canada's leading gay and lesbian media organization. Including pink triangle in the name is significant. The inverted pink triangle symbol was used during the Second World War to mark homosexuals in concentration camps. Gay men have since reclaimed this symbol, using it as a symbol of pride. You'll find it in a lot of companies' logos, a lot of pins will have inverted triangles on them, and what that is a reclamation from Second World War. And like the term queer, we've taken these derogatory, harmful, hurtful statements, and we've tried to reclaim them as symbols of pride. And I think that's a really cool thing that the queer community has done to kind of try and heal and also reflect on the past in a very in a meaningful way. So the logo for Pink Triangle Press is somewhere on this screen. It is on a black background and says Pink Triangle Press. The word pink is the color pink. And to the left of the logo, there's like a little inverted pink triangle that is outlined in white. I'll also put their website here if anyone is interested in visiting that. In 1973, Pink Triangle Press founded the ArQuives, which is archives spelt with a Q. I'll put their logo up on here as well, which is a nonprofit that acquires, preserves, and provides public access to material and information about 2S LGBTQ2 history, including organizational material, books, monographs, photographs, videos, sound recordings, periodicals, artifacts like buttons, board games, t-shirts, and banners, and other reference material. Oh my goodness, they have board games. I did not know that. And this is all a focus on Canadian content. A lot of the content that I've used to create queer and trans history workshops was actually found through the ArQuives. A lot of the digital images or like clips of sound, images of buttons that I have in regards to Loot, I think, or some sort of binational lesbian conference. I'll talk about it in another moment, but a lot of those images were provided by ArQuives, and as I'm producing educational content and referencing the ArQuives, whenever I pull an image or a file from them, it's kind of a cool way to be able to link history, use images that I'm allowed to use, and talk about Canadian queer history in a way that's like, here, this is a piece of history that is from that time. I even was able to find, and I'm not quite ready to share the content yet, but in regards to Montreal, I was able to find a flyer that was handed out prior to counter protest to get people to try and come in support of queer people after there was a raid in Montreal. I think that they were holding an Olympics, and the mayor at the time just did like sweeps of raids across Montreal to try and clean up the districts that queer people were living in or celebrating in, and the counter protests or the rallies that came in response to that are really cool to see, because even today we are still gathering and holding space and trying to liberate who we are, as well as other people with other intersections, and that started a long time ago. I mean, for as long as people have been discriminated against, there have been some movements to try and counteract that. So going back to the archives were founded as the Canadian Gay Liberation Movement Archives. That was their first name. They incorporated under the name Canadian Gay Archives in 1980. They received charitable status in 1981. In 1992, they were renamed Canadian Lesbian and Gay Archives, or CLGA, and in 2018 they were given their final name, which is the Archives, with the Q. And the logo for the website is really cool because they've turned the E into like, it looks like a drop down menu where you can like select it. You can't actually select these on the logo, but it looks like a bunch of lines that you could select, or there may be like books or volumes of things, but very cool logo design. They are one of the largest independent 2S LGBTQIA plus archives in the world. They have a mandate to safeguard 2S LGBTQIA plus history of Canada, and they are located in Toronto. They are actually the only archive in Canada with a mandate of collecting items at a national level. And I think there also is a trans or two-spirit archive in Victoria, but I'll try and find out some information to get that on this page, I guess. So online content, the online content was great. Sorry, I'm just reading through my workshop content. If this is the first video of mine that you're watching, one of my access needs is that I need to read from the scripts that I've created, even though I've researched and created these materials over, I guess, the 3 or 4 years that I've been researching queer content. But at this point in time, my memory can't hold information as well, and I have a mild concussion, so that'll make it even more difficult. So my apologies for any chaos, but I will try and keep this to the 10-minute, and I'll make it so I don't have to edit it, because that's really becoming a stumbling block when it comes to putting these videos out. Okay, so I talked about the archive logo, so I'll put that on the slide here. It is on a black background with the name of the organization, the Archives, in white, and the Q is in pink. The E in Archives is shown as 4 short horizontal lines, and underneath it in pink it says Canada's LGBTQ2 Archives. And I'll put the website up here, and it's really cool. They also collect donations for people who are interested in donating to, I guess, help keep this organization running. It looks like a nonprofit, so it probably does get some government funding, but mostly relies on individual donations to be able to keep creating content and keep safeguarding it, I guess. Okay, and lastly, in 1993, Pink Triangle Press launched the newspaper Extra West in Vancouver. I'll put a logo to this on the slide. It is the word extra, XTRA, in pink with an asterisk on the symbol at the end. Today, its founder, Pink Triangle Press, delivers online content through Extra magazine, and that content can still be found nowadays. There is another publication that I will have to talk about in another video, and it's in regards to the Georgia Strait, and I'll put one teaser of a thing right here that is a logo for a column that began in the 1970s called QQ Rights. And an image on the slide here is the logo for it, which is 2 male gender symbols kind of crossing with the words page 69 above the male gendered symbols. And then on the outside, it has like a bunch of wavy lines with some flowers and I think a butterfly. Yeah, there's a butterfly on the right hand side. So I'll talk about that more in another moment, but thank you for watching information about Pink Pink Triangle Press and its current kind of endeavor, which is Extra West. Go check it out for some queer content and see you in the next one. Happy Pride, everyone.